Clemson's in camp and Dabo's talking up the Tigers. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down Clemson football. We got Morgan Thomas on the line from the Morgan Thomas Show. Morgan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. And Dabo is one of the more entertaining coaches, so I was quick to get to his post-game analysis or post-scrimmage analysis concerning what he sees out of his young Tigers. Anything in particular from that caught your ear as being beyond coach speak, which he's typically good for?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard to kind of decipher what Dabo Swinney will do or will say and what it really means, because especially in the springtime, he's the hype man. He wants to talk about all the things that are great. And so as a reporter or an analyst, it's kind of difficult to get into what he really means. But, we know that they're trying to get healthy. There's a couple of players that had some surgery, like Malcolm Green, and some players that had been dealing with some COVID protocols, specifically on the offensive line, that they're getting healthy and trying to get in more reps. It's helping some of those guys that are maybe second string or third string come up and get some more reps and practice. But the biggest question mark heading into the spring is really not so much on defense, because they returned almost everyone, at least initially returned almost everyone. And then on offense, it was the complete opposite. There's a lot of rebuilding as far as, no more Trevor Lawrence, no more Travis Etienne, no more Cornell Powell or Amari Rogers. So getting those players that could be the next superstars on the offensive side is the big question. A lot of freshmen, though, to speak about and to brag on. But, Clemson is also tough in that sense that, you have to earn your right to get your playing time. It's not always easy going even if you're a 5-star to just get playing time immediately.
Talking Clemson football here. We've got Morgan Thomas on the line. We encourage you to head on over to his channel, The Morgan Thomas Show. You see it down there on the banner. Please like the videos, share the videos out on social media, and subscribe right here. Hit that bell for the notifications. That way you know when we're going live. So you touched upon the offensive line. I would say, as an outsider who just watches the big games, sees Clemson play 6 or 7 times a year, knows the narratives, knows the personnel pretty well, but not the complete grind, is that while between 2011 and 2015, there was just a ramp up in recruiting and elite status nearly in every position, the offensive line has maybe lagged a little bit behind the other positional units, and that even carries into this season in regards to some concerns we saw last year.
Yeah, I think that it's been addressed, but I think that there was a gap there. There were a couple of years in 2017, 2016, where you would want those guys to have maybe stayed for their final year, maybe added on a graduate year, and they didn't. And so there was really a lack of experience and development at the offensive line, which is a difficult position. These guys, when you look at them on film, at high school level, if they're the biggest dude in that county, they're playing left tackle and they're bowling people over. Well, that's not the way it is when you get into even the ACC or, like you were mentioning, in the big time college playoff environment. That's not the way it is. You're not just going to play left tackle and bowl people over. You've got to maybe convert to a different position and learn those techniques. It's difficult to do for these young guys. They had a huge class that are now sophomores. Walker Parks is one that we hope to see more of. Mason Trotter, Taquan Johnson, Hunter Rayburn, those kind of guys that we'd like to see their names jump up a little bit more. But yeah, the young guys got to take over, because Jackson Carman is gone, along with Trevor Lawrence. They both kind of were really good friends, and so the left tackle is gone. They've got to figure out who's going to be that guy. And really, I told my guys on my show and the people that watch the show over on the Morgan Thomas Show channel, there's smoke. When there's smoke, there's fire in the ACC. Everybody likes to pick on the ACC being weaker or more mediocre than other conferences. And if you have problems in the ACC with something, specifically Clemson had problems running the ball consistently, there's smoke, there's fire. At first it was like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're going to get better. Just wait. Clemson's going to get better. November time, it's going to get better. That didn't happen. Travis Etienne struggled to even get over 100 yards in many games. And then, as you saw in the playoffs, had a very difficult time. And as an offensive coordinator, he gets all the flack. Tony Elliott got all the, negative publicity from that, or negative feedback from the fans on Twitter. But it's really difficult as an offensive coordinator when you know your offensive line is struggling bad. And Matt Bockhorst and some other guys have come out and said, hey, we're going to turn this around, and they've got to do it. I mean, it's not acceptable doing what they did last year. A team has to be able to run the ball consistently. It's just unfortunate that such a great player like Travis Etienne returned, and that's what happened last year.
Yeah, I think when you see Travis Etienne posting the kind of numbers that he did for his first few years, which were amongst the best in the history of the game when it comes to yards per carry. I know that there was at one point he was ranking number 1 or 2 in the history of college football in yards per carry. Then you see that drop like 2.5 yards to about 5.4 yards, I think, last year. It's probably not him. It's the offensive line. He didn't become a worse running back from season to season. It's offensive line issues and getting the ball in some space there.